right, my fellow have and have not Tyler Perry addicts. Now, again, this is a video that's non-Tyler Perry related, but I felt that it was good to actually sit down and record something that's more of an appreciation video. Now, I'm pretty sure, based off my fan base, the ones who have, looked at my videos, the ones who follow me on my blog, social media, for the most part, I have a good grasp of what the audience, pretty much likes and what they don't like. At least I would like to think so. And I think the name KevOnStage is a name that a lot of us are familiar with at this point. I mean, if you don't know who he is, think about videos you might have seen that went viral, like Bring Neu back, his rant about Waffle House when the health inspectors, gave Waffle House a low grade, and he just went on about it. I think some of his top videos, like, 4 or 5 ways that 90s R&B is better than music today. He did a men's edition, then a women's edition, and the list goes on. This guy's just hilarious. Now, I think that maybe not enough people are aware of KevOnStage in terms of him being a very, 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 very interesting person to listen to on an intellectual level. Not saying like he's Albert Einstein, but I really appreciate this guy's perspective and viewpoints on a lot of different things. Shout out to Miss KevOnStage as well, because I do love their joint videos where they talk about things like relationships and marriage and other matters. And he has 2 talented young boys. I think Zay Zay was the one who played Buckwheat in the Little Rascals to the Rescue or something like that. That was one sequel I was not interested in watching whatsoever, but I think it was one night when I was just binge watching his Periscope videos on YouTube on his channel. He talked about how his son got the role and KevOnStage had a brief cameo in it. So I decided to sit down and watch the movie. It was actually pretty funny. I mean, I'm nostalgic. So I was born in '91. So the Little Rascals that came out during my time in my heart is the Little Rascals. But this one was pretty funny as well. So just seeing KevOnStage briefly as a doctor with the syringe, that was really funny. But all that's to say that over the past few weeks, since I've been doing YouTube full time myself, it's been pretty good to listen to somebody that's pretty much doing for like a living and doing pretty well at it, stuff that I'm doing right now for a living as well. Of course, his big dream is to do stand-up comedy, which he's doing, and, travel around the place. It looks like he's been booked in London in 2018. But all that's to say that I think maybe over the past couple of weeks, let's just say the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've been up, of course, getting over the holidays, all the hype from that, cleaning, coming up with goal lists for 2018, and think burning the midnight oil. So I would have his YouTube videos, pretty much in rotation. Like I'll listen to his thoughts on my favorite video, let's say my non-comedy related KevOnStage video is probably my thoughts on the 444. Like he literally does like a 15 or 17-minute video about Jay-Z's 444 album, and I loved it. And then he talks about things about, like, I think him and Doughboy from Wildin' Out, they do videos as well. They talk about, do you have to go to church to be a Christian? Can Christians listen to secular music? He talks about Joel Osteen in regards to the hurricane victims, and about his mega church not being open, and the list goes on. I love how he talks about relevant things in the news. But I feel like KevOnStage is a great guy. I feel like he seems like my cousin, like that cousin at a cookout who's really funny, and you just sit down and listen to his stories. I really like the guy. So for me to see somebody like that doing great on YouTube, I think some of my favorite videos was when he actually dropped not too long ago about You Deserve Nothing, pretty much about how hard work and faith means a lot, because you don't deserve anything you get. Like, everything is a blessing. You have to work hard for it. And it's just great to get that perspective, because some days I feel down, because I think in his video, he even talks about, like, look, I know I can easily come and go as any YouTuber. Like, there will come a day when my videos are no longer funny, and that's it. And I'm just like, you know what? That's a good way of looking at it, because he's working on other things, like stand-up comedy and TV shows, and the YouTube and the Facebook videos. I think he said for the most part, he gets all these views, but no money from Facebook. And I'm just like, that makes a lot of sense, because he put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. Just like, obviously he has a lot more time that he's been doing it than I have, because I'd say over the past 4 to 5 years consecutively, all the blogging I've did, the different Facebook pages I own, you know, between Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, have and have not related topics, not a thin dime, not a red cent. And then YouTube kind of blew up for me like middle of 2017. I'd say June or July is when I started making money on YouTube. And it's just like, well, dang, this is pretty fun. I mean, actually getting paid for sitting behind a mic and talking about things I want to talk about instead of being in that call center talking with students, you know, 40 hours a week for the past 3 years. So I think the next video that I really love, when him and his wife were sitting outside of their son's like soccer game or soccer practice. And I think it was about, you know, how do we follow our dreams? You know, like, you know, the planning, the risk, and then everything paying off, you know, and they're still working hard to get to where they really want to go, even though their family is successful. So I just wanted to do this video to say, of course, thank you, KevOnStage. Cause I know in one video you said like this woman called you out about being like a clown, and you even did like a rebuttal video where you dressed up like a clown and, you know, talked about that. So even though there's haters out there that don't like what you do, just know that there's, you know, people out there who really care. And I think there was a tweet that KevOnStage put out there, and I'm going to put it on the screen, about how his video "You Deserve Nothing" was actually shown in a classroom, and then the teacher actually had, you know, a deep discussion with the students, and they made like a goal list. So that was pretty good. So there may come a time where your videos that you make are no longer quote unquote funny, which I don't think is anytime soon. But given the way social media is today, it's like you're hot 1 minute, then you're not. But as long as you make consistently funny videos, and I hope KevOnStage is around for years to come. Same thing with your sons, you know, like if KevOnStage decides to ever retire, like, you know what, I'm going to put the webcam down, let my sons take over. I'll be happy to see that, because the videos you make, I'm pretty sure even years from now, you know, I'm 26, maybe when I have kids, I'll show them some funny videos that you've done as well. But I think that we should give KevOnStage credit, because aside from the jokes, the funny videos that went viral, bringing up stuff about Waffle House and whatnot, he does have some deep videos in his YouTube archive that I definitely suggest you subscribe to his channel, look him up. Those videos are really good. Like if you want a perspective from somebody who's kind of like on, you know, pretty much on like my social status, so to speak, you know, a black man, he has a good perspective. It's not like, you know, somebody in a cabinet or a senate who's like, you know, voicing their opinions, where it's like, I can't really relate to him. KevOnStage is like that family member that you have that's really funny but smart at the same time. From my perspective, he's a good guy that has a good perspective that I love to listen to. Like, even if I don't agree on some things, which at the moment I can't really think of something that I don't really agree with that he said in the video, but all I'm saying is I respect his perspective, his wife's perspective. I just love how they had that dynamic together. Relationship goals. Well, he did that video about no, relationship life, not relationship goals. So KevOnStage, keep doing what you're doing. If you see this video, that's great. I hope this wasn't a waste of your time. It's always good to know that there's somebody out there that appreciates your work. But with that being said, check out KevOnStage if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you in the next video.